The following segment is sponsored by Northwest Honda Dealers.
Although recent data shows white people have the highest rate of suicide in America, minority youth are also struggling. As KATU's Genevieve Rayum shows us for this week's Kind is Better report, they're being proactive, working to prevent their suicide rates from rising to higher levels.
People across the globe deal with mental health differently. The suicide rates show no one's truly handling it well, but these kids are working to save future generations by challenging their own culture's expectations.
Get perfect grades, be valedictorian, get into like a top 10 school.
Strive forward, or just ignore your problems.
We always have like in our culture, we always have good vibes and we're always having a great time, but it's like, you don't want to kill that vibe.
We're strong enough to do it on our own. Like, we don't need to reach out.
These are the faces of kids with roots across the globe: India, Africa, Micronesia, Mexico. And they're working to change the world.
Like, mental health is something that people don't want to talk about.
More specifically, to change how different cultures view mental illness.
There's this whole thing in like Indian culture of like, what will people say?
The World Health Organization says on average, someone dies by suicide every 40 seconds. That's one life gone since I started this story. In 2012, Yamini Rajan and her family emigrated from India. They'd barely settled in Oregon when doctors diagnosed her mom with breast cancer. Unbeknownst to her parents, Yamini had struggled with mental illness for years. This made it harder.
I kind of just like sat alone in my room. I would go to school, come back, and just like sit in my room until dinner, eat dinner, and like just run back there.
How old were you?
I was 12, yeah.
The secret battle continued through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade when she attempted suicide.
Like, I didn't care,
She failed, and a few weeks later, she got the courage to tell a school counselor.
When I went to that office and I started speaking, I just couldn't stop.
The Rajans.
I was too scared to face the truth.
Tell me mental health is silenced in Indian culture.
People don't talk about it because they don't have the time to waste.
It's an elders know best, rat race mentality.
What kind of work you do, correct?
Defines who you are.
Defines who you are.
Yamini's honesty changed all that.
Forget the kids for 1 minute, correct? Leave them aside. I think we have a huge issue with parents. We have a huge issue with adults.
It reminded them what's truly important.
I said, I don't give a damn about what people have to say.
That's a coveted outlook.
A lot of times you'll hear, probably in my culture, like, oh, you're too young to experience this, that, or,
Whether it's being told to push through your problems, that the weight's your own to bear,
Just handle it on your own.
or that you've got to live the stereotype.
And I just had to be strong and try to deal with it and be tough.
These kids all say what they've been taught has failed them.
I've always had these thoughts in my head about suicide or depression.
It's a conversation many in cultures across the globe fear.
Do you talk about it at all now with your family?
No.
Like, do they know that you're talking about it now?
No.
Yet the students say the scariest part is silence.
Once I reached out, I felt a lot better. I felt like I had this weight lifted up off my shoulders.
So they talk.
Our health teachers
Candidly.
just making us more aware.
Sometimes to family, regularly to friends and peers.
But just knowing that someone else is there kind of in the battle with you is helpful.
A promising paragon of the world to come. You saw towards the end there Yamini talking to other students about her mental illness. She does that through Asha International, an organization we've told you about. She actually wrote her college essay about her mental illness and her experience sharing it. Coming from a family that once thought mental illness could ruin your reputation, Yamini got into every school she applied to except one. She's heading to George Washington in D.C. at the end of the summer. In studio, Genevieve Rayum, KATU News.
Experts say that mental health crises are temporary and will pass. If you need to talk with somebody about anything, you can call the National Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK, or you can always text HOME to 741-741.